Welcome back again, authors. It is time to talk about how our own fears of the world around us get used to manipulate us. I have told you earlier in my story about how I had nightmares. I feared the dark and what laid in it, out of sight. I also had a healthy fear of storms, especially those that came in during the night. People had become something I feared by then too. These are all things that a kid naturally have fears of, often. The loud noises and chaotic uncertainty of the unknown give most people a sense of caution. What good is brute strength in our evolution if we were not sensible enough to be cautious during storms, to not get struck by lightning? I had come up with many ways to calm and comfort myself through my fears and my neglect. During the years leading up to Steve being a part of my life, I had a blankie. I sucked my index finger on my right hand, and I would sing to myself. These three things made it so I was not constantly running to an adult to feel safe in my fear of what was unknown. Steve noticed them, teasing me about them the day he stayed over after the amusement park. By the time I was grounded to my room with the window nailed shut and no door, Steve decided it was time to take away my self-soothing. He began with my blankie. It was taken away from me and put in Mum's room, behind the deadbolt lock I could not pick. Secondly, he bought an oil made from hot peppers. The heat in your mouth from this oil was greater than any Diablo sauce. He put it on my finger every single night to prevent me from sucking it. That oil burned your eyes to get within 3 inches of it. The stubborn person that I am learned how to like the taste and burning of it until the saliva from sucking my finger removed the oil. It would take about an hour or so, but once it was not causing my eyes to water, I could soothe myself to sleep. My nightmares actually stopped at this time of my life. My living experiences were so terrifying that my dreams and the shadows in the night no longer scared me. This upset Steve to see me mature beyond my fear, so he began a campaign to reintroduce fear of the night to me. My room had no door on it, and it opened up onto the living room. Steve would watch movies late into the night, while Mum slept, often citing that it was to keep an eye on me, to make sure I was not trying to cause any trouble. I know he was just doing it to abuse me. This is when I learned there was such a thing as sex and porn. I learned who Jenna Jameson was. He often watched such things, knowing I was not asleep, and had no way of removing myself from being exposed to it. This just grossed me out. It disgusted me and only made my hate of Steve greater. The other thing he watched all the time was horror movies. These had the effect he desired upon me. I began to understand that there were psycho killers in the world who enjoyed chopping people up, while other people found it entertaining. I have discovered in adulthood that I too find them entertaining, especially the thrillers. Steve always watched gruesome, overly sexualized horror films. One night, after he had played a horror video about a hitchhiker choking the lady who had picked him up, I awoke with a horrible dream about my mum being choked to death by Steve. I quietly tiptoed to their room, hoping my mum was sleeping lightly enough. I would wake her without waking Steve, just to make sure she was alive. Directly next to their door was a half door that went down to the basement. We heated that part of the house with the wood stove down there, so the half door allowed the extra heat to enter into the house. As I softly knocked on Mum's door in the dark, an arm reached out of the blackness above the half door leading to the basement. Before I knew it, I was being lifted by the hand around my throat, off of my feet, facing away from my attacker. I was so stunned, I had not thought it was Steve, until I heard the quote from his movie From the Killer to the Victim. "Thanks for the ride, lady," he said menacingly into my ear. I must have been making a commotion, because just at that moment, as my head began to pound from the blood loss caused by the hand gripping my throat, holding me in the air, Mum came out of the bedroom. Steve's grasp instantly released me, dropping me to the floor, skinning my elbow as I landed. Mum made a move towards me, but Steve stopped her. She just had a nightmare. I was trying to scare it out of her. Was all, he said to her. She feigned acceptance of his explanation, telling him to go to bed and she would be there after she used the toilet. "Get to bed," Mum said in a harsh voice that did not match her touch. She was gently helping me up, while making it look harsh. She even gave my butt a swat that was little more than a pat by the time it hit me. She came in to check on me, looking me over in the dark with the bathroom flashlight. I was never afraid of the unknown after this. I knew that people were to be feared more. Steve haunted my sleep in other ways too. When the door was first removed from my room, I awoke from my sleep with a hand cutting off my breathing, and a dark, looming Steve looking like he was going to kill me. He also smothered me once with my pillow. The other thing he loved to do was take my mum out on dates that left us kids alone until 4 a.m. often. I would lay in my bed following my sister's orders, who was watching us all, but I couldn't go to sleep until I knew Mum had returned safely. Steve had mentioned in passing that he could kill her while they were out, and then us kids would belong to him. I laid there awake, terrified that Mum would never again return. As the 3 years went by, I became a zombie. Once Steve had induced the fear of death completely into me, he made rest something I was not allowed to do. This made my reality foggy and unclear at all times. Thinking became hard, beyond remembering what I had to perform for the least amount of punishments each day. He wanted my terror to continue every hour of every day that he was a part of our lives. I have never quite recovered my ability to sleep since these abuses without bruising. My trauma surrounding sleep gets used in my 3rd and 4th chapters too. Denying a person's sleep is abuse. It is used in torture tactics, which are criminal by law. Yet still, in our homes, we are often victims of sleep deprivation. Some of us deal with the inconsiderate, who will crash and bang around, or listen and speak too loudly, so as to wake everyone else. Some of us deal with dreams that haunt us, due to the things we have witnessed. One of those abuses that just seep out of the original abuse far and wide. Still others will have no abuse, but still have the fears of the unknown that become demons in the night, keeping them awake in fear. No matter how it happens, interrupted sleep causes a body harm. Authors, I have no solutions to heal from abuses such as these. Therapy helps, but the subconscious remembers the trauma, and the subconscious rules our land of nod. I still have a blanket I like to lightly rub, in all its softness, to help me get to sleep. I often gently rub my feet together, to calm my nervous system into relaxing enough to rest. Exercise, diet, changing habits, and adding routines help to make sleep something we can do. But not everyone can be healed from the trauma enough to find sleep easily ever again. Sweet dreams, authors. Say hello to Winkin, Blinkin, and Nod for me. Cheers.